It is an assault taking place within our own educational system, capitalism under attack, as today's teachers spew more liberal rhetoric in the classroom, like these so-called truths about unions and, quote, fair trade. Well, many kids are learning the exact opposite of what their parents are trying to teach them at home, the value of free enterprise. And after hearing some of what his 10-year-old daughter was learning at school, CNBC anchor Joe Kernan decided he'd had enough, and it was time to set the record straight for future generations. And joining me now are the co-authors of the brand new book, Your Teacher Said What? Defending Our Kids from the Liberal Assault on Capitalism, the co-anchor of CNBC's Squawk Box, Joe Kernan, and his fifth grade daughter, Blake. Hi.
Hello.
It's good to see you. First of all, I'm a fan of yours, and it's an honor to have you here.
The feeling's mutual. And the way you read the title, if I need voiceover work, are you? I mean, is that...
I'm in this business, so I'm
because
available.
It was the question mark and the exclamation point. I heard it all.
Okay.
I mean, beautiful.
Well, it's not. This is phenomenal, the way this book came about. And I'm going to ask your dad, and I'm going to ask you, because you contributed so much to this book.
Thank you.
You really did. And
my dad did a lot of it.
He did a lot of it.
Thank you.
I love him. He's great.
You love your dad.
And I love you, too.
Oh, this is
Thanks.
priceless. Where are my kids when I need them? But this is great, because you hear what your kids are learning at school. Mm-hmm. And so you set out to have this mission with your daughter. I want you to explain it. It's a great idea.
This is the way it happened, Sean. After the financial crisis, I think that capitalism started getting a bad rap. It always does. It happened in the 30s. Whenever there's a problem, you start questioning the system instead of looking at closely what happened. So I was ready to see anti-capitalists behind every tree and under every rock. So she'd come home, and it didn't take much to set me off. She has great teachers, and she learns a lot. And in the acknowledgments, you'll see she says that we'd like to tweak the free market teaching that they do a little, but we don't have a problem with the overall education they're getting. But with that said, I mean, what do you say to a little girl who I ask her, have you ever heard the term the American way? And she'll tell me, no, not really, but I do know what tenure is. And she'll tell me exactly what tenure is and how it works and how it's necessary and how it rewards teachers and how it keeps me from, what was it, Blake, losing?
It keeps teachers safe from losing their jobs from unimportant
reasons. You knew this at 9 years old.
That's when we started.
That's when we started.
Right. This is amazing. So you set out on a mission, the two of you. Why don't I let you pick it up from here? How did this come about, the idea that your dad had and you had together, that you're going to read, for example, the New York Times editorial, the Wall Street Journal editorials, and that you were going to learn these principles?
Well, I'm really a sounding board for my dad, and I just started telling him the things, well, he started asking me the things that I heard in school about, say, capitalism and the free markets. And I told him exactly what I heard, and he started...
Getting mad.
Well, I wouldn't say getting mad, just questioning what I heard. Mm-hmm. So then he said, why don't you look through these two newspapers? So I did, and I saw there were, like, huge differences.
There's a lot of explaining. If you read the Wall Street Journal editorial pages and compare it to the New York Times, up is down. Up in one, it's up, in the other, it's down. It's really staggering. It's 180 degrees. It's like you can't even believe you're talking about the same subject.
It's true.
Half the time. And we decided that as far as truth goes, it's the Wall Street Journal. And I'm not sure what the motivation is behind a lot of liberal rhetoric, but I think some of it has to do, Sean, with never having had an economics course. I really believe that. And there was a study done by the Federal Reserve Bank of New York. If you've had an economics course, you're not likely to embrace a lot of progressive principles.
I agree wholeheartedly. And it's like the very values that we instill in our children are contradicted by teachers that think that they know better than what the parents are teaching on a whole variety of areas. What did you learn? I'm very curious, because you are an incredibly bright young lady. And what did you learn about capitalism? What was it that...
Well, there's the definite most important thing I've learned is that a lot of the things we take for granted, like, for example, the lights that are lighting up this room, or, say, I don't know, the cameras that are taping us.
Sure.
We take for granted, but they all came from capitalism.
Yeah.
And that capitalism is not bad, but capitalism is good.
And you learned this through a process of going through a lot of topics with your dad. Now, I know somebody asked you this question, but I thought you gave a perfect answer. Would you have rather been playing, I know you play tennis and you play sports and you like school and you're very smart. I mean, would you have rather been doing some of these other activities, or was this what you wanted to do?
Well, I love learning new things, and I love doing everything with my dad, so...
Oh, priceless. That's the, now, we didn't prepare this answer.
No.
Right? That's...
We did, I'm kind of an old father. In fact, I'm in that gray area between father and grandfather. So we spend all our time with.
I'm 11.
I know you are. And
I can't have a...
No, I know, but 55 minus 11 is 44. So that's not, you know, you appreciate it, I think, later in life. Maybe more than some people that are in the middle of a career. Well, sounds like I'm on the downswing, but I mean, I'm in the middle of a career too, but we spend a lot of time with our children.
Yeah, and now, when you get older, would you like to go into business as a result of what you've learned? You know, because some people think, for example, that people are exploiting the environment for, quote, profit. Profit is used as a very negative term. You've learned that that's not the case. What do you know what you want to do when you get older?
Well, I love the environment, but I also know that business is a very good thing. But what I really love doing as a hobby, but I'd love to continue when I'm older, is I love wildlife photography.
Wildlife photography, that's awesome. Really?
And photography in general.
Yeah, I do too. Did you ever think about going on TV? Because I think you're a natural.
Oh, thank you.
I think you would be.
You too.
You think I got a future in this business?
You're in this business.
I know. I just always thought I was doing my last show whenever I'm doing it, but I think you just saved me tonight, and I really appreciate that. Well, you are a lovely young lady. I really appreciate you coming. I am a big fan of yours, and we really appreciate both of you being here. All right, do you want to throw the football out?
Oh, I'd love to. And thank you so much. I really enjoyed it. I love this.
I'm just so welcome. That's all the time we have left, and thanks for being with us. Let not your heart be troubled. Greta is next, as now Blake throws us out.